I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and if anyone wants to request any topics, reactions, reviews, pretty much any type of video, send a request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. This is actually a paid request from Eric. Thank you so much for that. As for a review of Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, which came out in 2003. Now, it's been a while since I've seen this. I know there are 5 of these Pirates films. I think I only saw the first 3. And this one I remember liking back in the day. 2 and 3 I remember not caring for, but now I don't even remember why, because it's been forever since I've seen them, that I don't remember a thing about them. And again, the 4th and the 5th one I never even saw. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, it's based on a ride at Disney, which I always thought was a weird choice to make a movie based on a ride, but I will say this did it well in the fact of, yeah, it's based on the ride, but they're still doing their own thing. And I thought the cast, the score, the rambunctious adventure quality of it worked in its favor. And I still enjoyed it, watch it again. It is a bit bloated, which is a thing Gore Verbinski, the director, that's one of his issues, sadly, is he likes to bloat his films where you're going, you need an editor, mate. Like, you need some editor to come in and be like, no, this, and this to be cut down. Because that's funny, because the films he did before this were films like Mouse Hunt, which I enjoyed. The Ring, the remake with Naomi Watts, another film I enjoyed. And those films I didn't feel were bloated. I didn't feel they were pushed further than what their running time should be. But it's with this, and then I think he did the next 2 Pirates films, and I think that's one of the issues I had with them. They felt long, like scenes went on for too long. And then he did The Lone Ranger, and that is the epitome of that problem for Gore Verbinski, the director. Lone Ranger, there's a shitload of stuff you could cut out of that movie. That's a film that, despite the rather well done train sequence in the finale, I think is a really piss flick. And A Cure for Wellness, the last film he did, I liked. But again, the main issue is it's too fucking long, buddy. And I like A Cure for Wellness, but if you trim down some of this stuff, I think it could be even a better movie. And even with this, it's almost 2.5 hours long, and it feels that. But at the very least, there is a big production and scope, and there's money on the screen. And this was a time that no one was making pirate films. Even afterward, there were not a ton of people that made pirate movies, because, in all truthfulness, usually they bomb. I mean, you could count on one hand how many successful disregarding, like, when I say count on one hand, I don't mean Pirates 1, Pirates 2, Pirates 3. I mean, like, okay, take the Pirates of the Caribbean films. What other successful pirate movies are there? Because you go back and you had films like Yellowbeard, you had the Pirates movie with Walter Matthau. What was it Yellowbeard? The one with Cheech and Chong were in it, among others. Cutthroat Island, of course. These films didn't do that well. Even films involving pirates, The Island with Michael Caine. I mean, maybe technically you just say Jack Carver's The Fog, but they weren't really pirates in that. So, but some people, what about that? It's like, that would. The Goonies. I mean, that's kind of funny. The Goonies is one of the more successful movies that deals with pirates. As in, there is a pirate ship. But a movie actually about pirates, again, at that time there were not that many movies of that nature that were a hit. So this seemed like a pretty big gamble, but I guess people like Gore Verbinski and others felt, it's been a while since these films were made, and when they were successful, it was in the times of Errol Flynn and those type of movies. And in fact, I think earlier in the 90s, they were thinking of this idea, hey, do a movie based on this ride. And they had people like Matthew McConaughey they wanted in the lead as Jack Sparrow, which I just see him doing. It wouldn't be the same type of role. And I think they also thought of Terry Ellis, which makes sense because The Princess Bride. Christopher Walken. And even when they did this movie, they were thinking of Christopher Walken, and it's a strange choice, but it'd be a intriguing choice. I guess another choice is Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton would have been pretty neat. But with Johnny Depp, you would not have gotten the Jack Sparrow. You would not have gotten an actor saying that he wants to be inspired by Keith Richards. And that's what his performance is entirely based on. And so the way he does with his hands and the way he seems drunk all the time, and that type of unique performance is from Depp and Johnny Depp alone. And apparently during the making of the film, even the studio were like, what the fuck is he doing? I think Michael Eisner was one of the higher ups at Disney. They're going, what the fuck is he doing, man? He's ruined the movie. And Johnny went, I'm doing this. You can fire me, but this is what I'm doing. I think it works. And it did, because it's one of the things that when people saw the film, they gravitate towards performance because it is a unique performance. Now, you say maybe it works better here because it's more of a supporting role compared to a lead role, and maybe it works better that way. But I can't confirm or deny that because I don't remember the next two movies, and I haven't seen the last two movies, so I don't know. But this one, the plot at least is fairly simple. You have the Black Pearl, this ship that is cursed, and that's led by Jeffrey Rush's character. And cursed as in they're immortal. You just see their zombie skeletonized bodies in the moonlight. They need to find these coins as well as the blood of this one person. You find that out later. And you have these two young people that are in love with each other. One is Keira Knightley. The other is Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom is a blacksmith, but you find out that his father used to be a pirate. He finds out, Orlando Bloom's character finds out about that. Keira Knightley is the daughter of this lord, this higher up, played by, I think, Jonathan Pryce. Jack and Jumpin' Jack Flash. I mean, he's done other stuff. He was the bad guy in the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies. From Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. And she's supposed to be married to this guy who's with the military. And watching it again, I did not mind those actors. I think when I first saw this, I went, Orlando Bloom? But he wasn't that bad watching it again. He wasn't. Maybe because I've seen so much shittier, like John Cena, among others, Joel Tinney, what Tinnaman, that Orlando Bloom has risen without doing anything. Like, I watch Orlando Bloom in this, I'm like, he's actually pretty decent. And of course, he would become even more successful with the Lord of the Rings films. And doing these two franchises, he must not have to work again. He's using the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies and in these films. I mean, unless he's a complete idiot or he doesn't have someone who knows how to fix his finances right, he should be rolling in the dough with those. Those are two fucking huge franchises to be a part of. And like I said, there are times where it seems like the movie's just taking a sweet time. I do think it could be a much tighter movie. I would say that's its biggest issue. It could be a much tighter film. But the action scenes are well done. And, I mean, there's CGI for when they're zombified at night. I can understand it though, because there are times where there's fight scenes, sword fights, where they're going from the moonlight to out to in to out. It's kind of hard to do that with practical. And maybe they thought, well, if we do some practical, you see a different shift between practical and CG. So, and it's 2003. And I'll give a little bit of leeway with that. But there's also some good practical work. There's sword fighting, swashbuckling, adventure quality. Maybe not to the extent of Cutthroat Island, because that really... But there's still some good... I mean, there's ships side by side, blowing the shit out of each other as they're shooting cannonballs. That's done practically. There's some good stunt work involved. And Johnny Depp is a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun in this role as Jack Sparrow. He's entertaining. He's always shifting sides. You don't know which side he's on. He's over here. He's over there. And his eccentric acting, it's not boring. It's not typical. Its uniqueness elevates the material. And, like, for example, when he's getting this, even before that, he joins in with Orlando Bloom. They don't go to get Keira Knightley. Of course, Johnny Depp has his own reasons for doing it, because he used to be the captain of the Black Pearl, but then Jeffrey Rush and the crew overthrew him and left him on an island, which later on they do that again. Oh, and they do have nods to the ride, like the dog with the keys in his mouth. But, you know, it's fine to have nods to that. At least they did come up with a story. Because, again, there's really not much story through Pirates of the Caribbean ride, so... But, again, I don't mind the idea of the story of a cursed ship and, you know, why they need this, why they need that. And the pirates in human form, they definitely look scummy and dirty, so they did a nice job portraying that. The score, I think the score is pretty good. The score definitely has that adventure quality. And this is one of those scores they used in a lot of trailers afterward. And you listen to the score, it's like, if that sounds familiar, other than this movie, it had a shitload of trailers they would use this musical score. And it fits the film. It fits the film like a glove. Like the O.J. Simpson glove. It fits. But... Oh, when I was mentioned, like Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom, they go into this island with all these women, and one slaps him, and Depp is like, I didn't deserve that. Then he gets another slap. I think I deserve that. Like little moments of that nature. Or Zoe Saldana. I forgot she was in this. I don't think she's in the other ones. Which is weird. You would think that now that she got more popular, that she would have come back. But I could be wrong. But I don't think she ever does come back later on. If I'm wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments. But I mean, Zoe Saldana, of course, got more and more famous with Guardians of the Galaxy, among other movies. Granted, that was, 2014, so still quite a few years before this, so maybe that's why. And there were moments that did make me laugh. When they get the crew and they're going towards where they need to go, and one of the crewmen is talking to Orlando Bloom about, oh, well, they stranded him on an island, and he was a former captain, and Orlando's going, well, how did he escape? Oh, well, he tied two sea turtles together, corralled them, and he went off. And Orlando's going, sea turtles? Really? Roped them up, and what do you use for rope? And Johnny Depp overhears as he goes, human hair. From my back. Like, the way he says that made that line pretty damn funny. That's probably my favorite, funny exchange in the movie. And it's a pretty lengthy big battle between both sides at the end, where there's the military, well, first there's the Johnny Depp's crew versus the Black Pearl, and then later on there's the military. Granted, watching it again with Johnny Depp's character, it does show he's a smart character because he manipulates things, but in a way, his manipulation does get a lot of people killed, and it's like the movie wants to overlook that. And it's like, well, wait a minute, he is kind of manipulating everything, and like some of those people in the military, they were not bad guys, and some of them get killed, and there are repercussions for this, but like no one ever brings that up. And it's just one of those things that, I still like the Johnny Depp character, but he did kind of, by doing this and doing that, he does get some people killed. So I mean, I'm just saying. But like I said, Johnny Depp's performance of this eccentric character, the supporting actors, I thought did fine. Jeffrey Rush, I think he's having a lot of fun as the villain, enjoying being a pirate. And of course, you had the monkey. Now, I don't know if this is a franchise that needed sequels. I think you could find a lot of people that said it never did need sequels. But like I said, I don't remember. I haven't seen or don't remember the others, so there you go. But it's a fun store, entertaining action sequences, very intriguing lead performance and character. And Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, they actually weren't that bad. They weren't as bad as I remembered. Like I said, I just need some tightening of the script. That's really, of the pacing. That's really one of my only issues with the flick. But other than that, a fun swashbuckler, entertaining swashbuckler. Is it my favorite movie dealing with pirates? I mean, that they star in? Like I said, there's really not a lot, even from then to now, pirate-wise. I mean, yeah, I guess is one of them. I mean, I do like The Island and Michael Caine, but that's a different kind of pirate movie. The Goonies, but pirates are a little bit of that. So yeah, I guess it's up there. I would say I do enjoy this more than Cutthroat Island, because Cutthroat Island, like here, I like the Johnny Depp here and how do I put it? I guess in a way the story, the whole supernatural story of the ghosts and the coins and Johnny Depp's character, like whose side is he on, how eclectic, eccentric he is. That was more interesting to me than the story in Cutthroat Island, to be fair. And yeah, I would say I like this more than Cutthroat Island. And plus, like Matthew Modine, I even have to say Orlando Bloom. Well, Matthew Modine wasn't awful in Cutthroat Island, to be fair. So I don't know. I'm going off a tangent. I mean, Cutthroat Island's not the worst movie ever. I've seen much, much worse. But just one of those movies I went, there's something missing. And here, I just found it more fun, more enjoyable. I don't know how else to put it. Sometimes it's just the way it is. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.